Jim and Terry Show coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in Boscage, and I'm one of your hosts, Terry, and with me is my good friend and co-host,
The Jim.
The Jim. Definite article, because he's definitely a character.
I am.
Reasonable, all of those remarks. We're going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, and we've been having some fun. We do episodes in between episodes, and we get ourselves all wound up and talked out, and sometimes I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm tired now because we've just been chatting for a half an hour.
We've been just doing some, well, if we had our research assistant, doing all this stuff for us, so we could just, where's the script for the next show? Mitzi. Yeah, and my coffee needs freshening up. Mitzi.
Yeah.
Where is Mitzi? We never did.
It's not in the budget, Terry, apparently.
Oh,
well, what happened? We were talking about alleged conspiracy theories and stuff about Oprah Winfrey.
That was our last podcast. You ended up with the Maui fires and the miraculous sparing of the
Which
Oprah
could all,
estate.
just a disclaimer, could all be just as Terry loves to be able to ruin my conspiracy theories with like that troublesome thing called
dose of reason
facts.
Once in a while.
With facts, but it got us on a bunch of other things like the Jeffrey Epstein. There's weird conversations within his emails, and obviously in the United States nobody has been brought to task concerning this corrupt organization except Epstein himself, which killed himself in jail, and there's a lot of reasons to doubt that. Nobody else has had to be brought up about any of it. Yet all around the world, people are losing their jobs, top officials, including the Prince of England, losing his position, his title, and everything concerning their connections with this evil organization. So we say all that to say I was looking at some information about codes that are used within the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. And an example would have been the card Trump gave to Epstein saying, and may you enjoy many beautiful surprises or something like that. Whatever it was at the end, our minds went to, meaning a younger girl, having time with a younger girl. So a lot of them have stuff like pizza, jerky, grape juice in their conversations, like their code, because they're not being used just by one guy. They're being used in several different emails. These are the words they use where you and me might say, "What a beautiful patio you had." I wouldn't say, "Wow, that's a real pizza." I would say, "What a beautiful patio you had." But, I really enjoyed the pizza. I can hardly wait for another pizza. These are all billionaires. I mean, really. Come on. You can make your own kitchen in your home, So it just got us wondering about how much of it's true, how much of it's fake.
And how do you even begin to sort it?
Well, you begin by releasing the Epstein files, which would be unredacted Epstein files, which would really, really help. Who are these people that visited the island hundreds of times or thousands of times or twice? Lutnick lied about it, flat out lied about it, still smiles, under oath, still not punished, but flat out lied about his association with Epstein. Let's remember he also had business connections with Epstein. So he really blatantly just lied. Trump said, we just, kind of brushed so a million times you're in the Epstein files. Ghislaine's calling Melania sweetie, but you're just really casual friends. So there are some facts that make you want to understand more and not quite doubt your imagination on how bad it could really be. Because if there's 1,200 victims that we know of, imagine that's just American victims. Imagine the victims that might be around the world. And then imagine how many prominent people must have been in on this to the point where Trump will not release it.
Do we know that this thing that was happening in the farm, in the ranch, in the island, do we know that these were being done elsewhere in the world? Because as far as I know, it's just the American phenomenon.
I would guess it isn't just America, but I'm guessing. But we do know that Epstein sent that young girl, later killed herself, to England to meet up with the prince. So that is a documented fact. So I'm guessing if there's a prominent prime minister apparently who was the brutalest of brutal to one of these victims. We don't know what that prime minister was. So even if it's Canada, that's another land. And I'm not saying that it's that at all, but it's a prime minister somewhere that was brutal in one of these episodes. And we know that there's all kinds of different things like, I don't know, pornography being seen that absolutely appalls some people, like just appall them. So it's dirty, corrupt, dark, I would say and godless brutal. And brutal. And there's even rumor, and this is alleged again, that on the Epstein, New Mexico farm, they had great big tankers of acid.
Yeah, you're the one who told me that.
Which would be to dissolve something. I'm sure it's just the pigs. Yeah, you just, instead of eating them, you're going to dissolve them. There's something wrong. There's just something not quite right in all of it.
And
the covering up is definitely there. And Trump even said to Marguerite Taylor Greene, Marguerite, I got friends that'll be hurt. You got to change your mind. We can't have this released. We can't protect these 1,200 young women. I got friends in it. So there's a statement right there saying there's prominent people within those files that Trump's afraid of, and that could be afraid of. Like if these are released, you're dying. I don't know. We might get pinged for that. But there's prominent people in here and very powerful people doing very bad things. And it brings me back to Mel Gibson.
The truth is probably enough. Okay,
yeah.
Hold on to that other theme and that thread. But just to break it down, because our minds are inclined to race ahead into the unproven and uncharted territories of conspiracies, and because conspiracies have really taken hold over this, we imagine a lot. And is it possible the Epstein files are actually worse than we can actually imagine?
I'd almost guarantee it. I get a very
the reality is
I get a very
than,
very very dark feeling on what has become of America. If it's just America, I get a very very dark feeling of what has become, and I think the punishment's going to come. I think they're going to dissolve down.
Okay, well that's interesting. Let's talk about the punishment, because to have that happen, Trump can't be elected in 2028.
Oh,
to
even
have justice happen, it's not going to come through the Republicans who have already bent the knee and kissed the ass.
I don't think it'll be justice coming. I not necessarily justice. I think it's going to be destruction.
Oh, okay.
Well, like the evil's just going to be overwhelmingly weighing down. It's already affecting a lot of us psychologically. This whole Trump episode is affecting us. He's in the news every day. And he's doing something every day that you and I disagree with. Every day. Not once a day, not once a year. Every day. It just is nonstop corruption. We talked the last show about the billions of dollars he's going to get from the government, which he is the government, paying to him because he's on both sides. He's representing both sides, so they're going to come to an agreement. How lovely is that? Doesn't even have to go to trial. Because if it went to trial, it wouldn't make it. It's not going to go to trial. It's going to be a payout. And he's gotten payouts from big corporations and organizations.
This is reported as matter-of-fact news.
This is
fact.
Instead
of everybody, liar, liar, pants on fire, four-alarm fire, why aren't the alarm bells ringing in the media? Why is this being reported as normal?
Yeah.
You can't normalize the crazy.
No. Trump announced yesterday, he said to Xi Jinping that, you're just wonderful, and I've told all kinds of people how great I think you are, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it because I don't lie. Well, come on, he's the biggest liar I've ever heard in my life.
The trip to China is going to be Trump's undoing, I think, because
Could be.
The Chinese are not fools, and they don't suffer fools much at all. They have greased the palms of Trump. They know exactly how to stroke his ego to make him feel something. And then if they stroke his ego enough, then they can get their asks in there, like the Taiwan ask.
Just imagine the betrayal. If Trump gives Xi Jinping what he wants, Taiwan. Yeah. Just imagine that betrayal, like he betrayed Ukraine.
Yes.
Just imagine that betrayal. And if you think he won't betray any other country, including Canada, this is why we need a strong prime minister who ain't going to fall for the crap. If there's no agreement, there's no agreement, because even what Carney said, a lot of people that rushed into agreements, there were no agreements at all.
None.
None.
So when Trump went around 90 agreements in 90 days,
yeah.
that was all malarkey.
All bull.
All
it
bull.
doesn't exist.
And his sycophants, using your word, they're all in there. The ass kissers, they're all there.
Yep.
And how many meetings have we said where Rubio and Lutnick and all the rest of them say, you're the greatest president ever. And it's such a privilege to serve you, Mr. President. What is going on?
He receives their praise. He receives their worship, and that little blonde should think about that. You look to me like you worship Trump. I'm just saying, be careful, kid.
Worshipping the golden cow.
Well, we know the golden statue has been erected, hasn't it?
Yeah, we talked about that one. Jim and Terry Show, so much more. How do you sort fact from fiction? Maybe on the next podcast. We'll get to the bottom of it, but it's complicated. This relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I breathe.